So National Academies is located in Washington, D.C. They have a building on the mall called the Smithsonian Institute, which houses both the Smithsonian Institute and National Academies, but it's way too small for the National Academies, so they built themselves a new $4 billion building a little further out from the mall, and that's where most of the work goes on. The committee, myself, Ryan Dilger from University of Illinois, Bill Dozier from Auburn, Bob Elkin from Penn State, Peter Furkett from North Carolina State. Peter disengaged with the committee last summer. And Gonzalo Mateas from Madrid, Doug Cover from Alberta. Jason Lee was on the committee for about a year. He took an industry job, and so he felt he needed to drop off the committee because of the workload. Mike Persia from Virginia Tech, Sheila Purdom from University of Nebraska, and Rosemary Walzem from Texas A&M. So this group of us started as 10, eventually became 8, wrote the report. And then we also had some consultants that helped us a tremendous amount. Nova Sakamura helped us tremendously with the modeling. We couldn't have gotten our models together without her. Sally Knoll helped with the turkeys chapter, and Jerry Huntington was sort of the staff member. He's a professor, retired from North Carolina State, and he helped me organize the committee. So just a little more history. The first one was, first NRC report was 1944. It was 18 pages and it had a 5-member committee. The last report, as was mentioned, was 30 years ago. It was 1994, 155 pages. And our new one, which is the 10th and not the 11th report, has 1,030 pages and should be out this fall. We're, I'd say, 99.9% done. We still have some editing things to do and some responses to a few reviewers to include. You can see the editing problem, like, for example, the 10th. And there's lots of these little things throughout there that we got to deal with. I just want to say something quickly about the audience, because everybody thinks they're the audience for the report. Poultry nutritionists is my priority audience. Now, the regulatory agencies think we're there for them. Feed manufacturers find the report useful, poultry producers, of course, consultants, veterinarians, and other professionals. I added educators in here. Historically, the report was never thought to be a book for educating students, but many of us have used it in our classes, et cetera. So one of the reasons we increased the page length so much is that we put a lot more background information in it to try and help the graduate students, et cetera. And it actually helped me because I didn't know a lot of stuff that we put in there. Judges and lawyers, I've served on a lot of trials, lawsuits, and judges and lawyers, if they've got an expert witness that quotes the National Academy reports, that's pretty much the gold standard. So you'd be surprised how much it's used for that. And of course, the public and national and international audiences. One theme throughout is that during the 80 years the reports have come out, the scientific rigor and transparency of the decision process has greatly increased. We spent a lot of attention to that this year, or for this report. We tried to justify which papers that we chose to make requirements and which ones we rejected and tell why. And that wasn't done in any of the previous reports to much of an extent. What's not changed, committee members were carefully vetted. That's always been the case. And if there's conflicts of interest, which all of us have conflicts of interest, I think everybody on the committee was consulting for somebody, and it's considered a conflict of interest. It was disclosed, so we all know, and we can judge for ourselves whether we want to believe what they have to say. And of course, all the committees have been tied to using only the peer-reviewed literature. There's an awful lot of good literature out there that's not peer-reviewed or just lightly peer-reviewed, and we really have to adhere to that because that's the way the National Academy of Science does its business. What else has changed? Increased background information for the students, as I mentioned. Again, exclusion criteria. And we added a bunch of new chapters, one on feed processing, which is pretty extensive and I think very useful. One on nutrient excretion in the environment, which was part of our charge to the committee. One on nutritional implications for environmental stressors like heat stress, disease, nutritional quality of products, and also we included models, as I've already indicated. We tried to put models in for broilers, layers, and turkeys, but we just couldn't get the turkey one finished in time. And there's increased attention to some of the kind of minor, I call them minor areas of poultry nutrition, broiler breeders, ducks, geese, and quail, which were barely covered, not even a paragraph on some of these areas in the last report. Also new, and I think really important, is that the National Academy's Nutrition Group have struck an alliance with the USDA National Animal Nutrition Program in 2 areas. One is in model development and housing models and continually updating those models as new information becomes available, and also with ingredients. And in fact, we don't have an ingredients table in our report this year. All the ingredients information is on the animal nutrition website. You can go there right now today. It's live to animalnutrition.org and find the ingredients tables and query what you want to find. And it's all in there in a lot better way, in an updatable form. It's continually being updated now instead of just once every 30 years. So that's the overview. And from here, we'll move on to our next speaker.